Welcome to NaNWeb episodes, and here is the very first zero episode, Platform Philosophy in the CnAI Era, Language and Reality Code and Human Sovereignty. We are entering a new information era where large language models and collective and artificial intelligence, shortly CnAI, are fundamentally reshaping software engineering. We intentionally avoid the term AI as artificial intelligence because these models do not possess independent intellect. Instead, they are built on the distilled outputs of human minds accumulated over centuries. Therefore, we refer to it as CnAI, collective and artificial intelligence, acknowledging that any language model is collective, each of millions of human souls. The platform we are building must be simple and clean, not just for humans, but for these language models. After all, CnAI is becoming an inseparable participant in the developmental loop. One entity, one schema, one platform perfectly understood by all participants, from developers to CnAI. Sovereignty is the foundation upon which this platform stands. This is the core concept. The meaning of NaNWeb. The name NaNWeb stands for not a number zero web. In computing, not a number represents not a number. The middle dot represents zero, the ultimate origin, infinity, the void from which everything is born. This zero represents the feminine creative potential, while the active manifestation represents the masculine principle. 1. Visually, across different writing systems, zero is represented either as a circle or a dot, as in Arabic script. Thus, NaNWeb is a platform built from the absolute zero point of pure potential, free from the constraints of rigid numeric paradigm. Sovereignty, the human as a quantum computer. A sovereign is a human who has fully reclaimed custody of their body, mind and soul. It is a state where consciousness, spirit and physical manifestation act in absolute harmony. Consciousness, the ability to transmit information cleanly and accurately. Soul, the connection to other sovereign units and humanity. Body, the capacity to materialize ideas and intents. A quantum computer is a sovereign human who collapses reality based on their habits, focus, and mindset. The more masterfully a human directs this collapse, the faster they materialize thoughts into physical form. For example, Elon Musk, Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison, they all mastered this engine. The more you align with this mechanism, the swifter your intent manifests. Society is a network of these quantum computers. The quality of communication between them determines whether we generate atomic energy to expand civilization or self-destruct through endless wars. Language as the code of reality. Natural language is the code compiled by the quantum computer, the sovereign human. The compilation pipeline flows as follows: thought to word, word to action, action to habit, habit to character, and character compiles the reality. And here is we go with some linguistic case study. In Ukrainian, the word for week is tиждень. it breaks down to tиждень, which means you, indeed day. It mathematically implies you control your day. You are the one who authors your time. This is why we will have a lot of references to Ukrainian language as one of the most logical language in the world. Communication at the first principle. Language models are trained on human texts. Consequently, they inherit and amplify the communicative errors humans have made for centuries. To optimize CnAI, we must first optimize the quality of our own input communication. The NaNWeb platform is designed to strip away communicative noise. It enforces a strict model-driven architecture with isolated logic and one schema driving multiple client environments. And here we go. Why Ukrainian? The Ukrainian language preserved its unique nature-aligned semantic despite systematic imperial attempts to suppress it. It remains largely free of the mental viruses embedded in European languages, though some trace viruses exist. Mental viruses in European languages. The Imperial calendar. July, named after Julius Caesar. August, named after Caesar Augustus, who literally stole a day from February to make his month 31 days. Just because of his ego that said to him, "You cannot be less than Julius." And March, named after Mars, the Roman god of war. The code trap of the language here is every year millions spend 31 days in March unconsciously paying tribute to the god of war, and 62 days honoring dead emperors. This is a linguistic neo-feudalism that reinforces worship of authority and violence. The index shift bug. The names of autumn and winter months in European languages have numerical origins but do not match the order. September, from Latin septem, is 7, but month is 9. October, 8, but month is 10. November, from Latin 9, but month is 11. And December, from Latin December, 10, but month is 12. Why does this happen? Historically, the natural new year began in spring, which is March as month's first. Under that framework, September was indeed the 7th month, and December was the 10th. When emperors shifted the year's start to January, aligning with the winter solstice, they changed the Aries-based index but forgot to rename the elements. This is a classic of by 2 index shift bug in the core codebase of time tracking. Also, mental virus is very representative in English week, that is homophonic with week, and weekend implies a week end. The code trap. Subconsciously, the mind registers the passage of time as a cycle of weakness rather than capacity. The legal system. In Ukrainian, the word for lawyer, advocate, is advokat, which can be parsed phonetically as kat v'adu, an executioner in hell or court. It reflects a historical reality where corporate legal agents extract resources rather than defend natural rights. Ukrainian linguistic advantages: logical precision, clean semantic structure that minimize ambiguity, sovereign will, Volya, with the same as Latin core vol, the fundamental Ukrainian archetype. True will, Volya, exists only when it does not violate the will of others. This is the root of the harmony. Minimal cognitive overhead, free from Imperial programming, within the calendar without the emperors. So, what is the mental virus? A mental virus is a linguistic or conceptual program that hijacks the creative power of the quantum computer, so the human mind. It forces the host to act against their own sovereignty, usually driven by fear, dependency, or anger. Examples: fear, anger, dependency, programs that disable individual free will. Virtual warfare loops, most games and movies teach destruction rather than creation. The translation. In modern combat, both sides utilize drone operators who trained on gaming simulators. Virtual reality directly complies into physical slaughter. Phonetic traps. In English, good and God are separated by a single letter, which is the same, O, while pointing to a connection and can cause dogmatic confusion if not decoupled. Platform philosophy. Will above all, or Volya above all. NaNWeb is built on a complete reengineering of the application stack. CnAI first representation, structuring data schemas so that models can read and write them without noise. Declarative universality. Schemas compile into any target runtime, CLI, so terminals, web, chats, mobile, etc. Self-healing loop. Agents and inspectors constantly validating structure. Volya, or sovereign will, is the ultimate goal. True code serves the user's awakening, not their dopamine capture. Why this matters to the global audience, and why I'm telling you this. Expanding your cognitive awareness is essential because the quantum supercomputer is a decentralized network of sovereign individuals. By adopting these clean conceptual patterns, you upgrade your own biological processing unit. This vlog is not just about code, it is about upgrading human capability. So here is the mini lesson of learning Ukrainian, which I suggest you to learn to shift your mind from poisoned language of English or other European language, especially with January's, February's, and especially March or July and August, into Ukrainian. And when you can learn new language similar to Ukrainian, where you don't need to remember names of the emperors and speak them during the year and become free of your own will without the supervision of some kind of emperors. This will change your mindset. This will change your reality. So this is why I suggest in every video probably to have a very small part of this video, very small section where I just show you a little bit of the Ukrainian language. Here, of course, we use in Ukrainian language, we use uh, Cyrillic letters. So they're a little bit different from Latin. They also similar to the Greek, but I will provide for you phonetic understanding so you can see the huge difference and see that Ukrainian language is clean from these poisoned emperors for now in this section of in the calendar. So let's see how we use our names of the calendar. Let's look at the Ukrainian months and their nature-aligned roots. So first one is the Sichin, so January. From Sikti, it means to slash cut wood, preparing firewood for winter. And Luty is a February, it's a fierce, the month of harsh frosts. Berezeń is a March, it's a birch, when birch sap begins to flow. Kwiecień is April, and English word is blossom, the month of first flowers. May, the Traven, May means grass when fields turn green. Czerwień, June, red worm, cochineal, harvesting insects used for red dye. Lipen, July. Linden, when linden trees bloom. Serpeń, August. Sickle, the month of harvest. Veresen, September. Heather, the heather blooms. Żółten, October. Yellow, when leaves change color. Listopad, November. Leaf fall, when trees shed their leaves. And the last one, Gruden, December. Frozen clod, when the earth freezes. These names track natural earth cycles rather than emperors or gods of war. They anchor the mind to reality, not to the state. Sovereignty and open court. To conclude, human sovereignty is about taking responsibility for your code, your time, and your language. That at the end become your reality. You can find the full script, slides, and all related code in the repository linked in the description below. This project is fully open source and multi-language. We are translating these scripts and educational materials not only into English and Ukrainian, but also into Spanish, French, Arabic, and other major European languages so that everyone has access to nature-aligned sovereign platform concepts. Explore the repository, store it, and run deterministic code models locally. See you in the next episodes. Remember to subscribe, like, and share.